Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 21 Minutes or Less podcast. I'm one of your co hosts, Keisha Milana,
And I am your other co host, Nakia Smith.
and today we are live. We are talking all about decluttering, and I feel like it's very fitting considering the new year is right around the corner. It's good to be able to organize and get things in place before, entering a new journey, especially if you're trying to reach your goals and just be able to clear your mind. So I'm super excited about this topic. Nakia, have you already started decluttering for the new year yet?
I have. So I've been like organizing my clothes, washing. I always try to like have everything washed before the New Year's. It's just something that we've been doing in our family for a long time. And then, of course, just doing a deep clean, things like that. And I know it takes time, so I've been doing it a day at a time and not trying to do it all at once.
Yes, I have also been trying to declutter, but it's kind of hard because I had to do a little bit before I left, like for my break from school. But then it's like I'm still gonna have to do some stuff when I get back. But I definitely think that the most common way to declutter is physical space. So, some things that you can declutter your home, you can declutter your car, you can declutter your closet or wherever you keep your clothes. I feel like all of those are good places to start. But for me, I know I'm also trying to declutter like my technology. So I've been deleting apps that I don't use. I've been trying to organize them. I know on the iPhone you can like group different apps together and say like, oh, these are all social media apps. These are all like camera apps. So I've been trying to do that because I feel like my space definitely I want decluttered, but a lot of times we on our phones or like we on our computers, we on technology. So I'm like, okay, I need to get that just as decluttered as my physical space. And so I've been doing that not just with my apps, but also with like Google Drive and like OneDrive for
Mhm.
Outlook. And me, I got a bunch of different papers for school. So I've been doing things like actually making a different folder for each one of my classes. And then not just the classes, but like each semester. So I'm like, okay, I already learned from my past mistakes in my master's program in the undergrad. You get a whole bunch of articles, you get a whole bunch of work back, feedback. So I'm like, I would rather save this stuff as I go each semester as opposed to trying to save it like all at the end.
Yes. So I did that undergrad and graduate school.
Hmm.
I'm just a organized person because if I don't have things in place, it's just out of whack for me. So
Yeah.
I was utilizing like the OneDrives and the Google Drives, and every time I had a class, I created that folder, used it, refer back to it, and I still have papers and articles all the way back to 2010, just
Mhm.
sitting in my drive and on my computer. But I just wanted to talk about the reason why we should declutter and then the
Mhm.
benefits of declutter and cluttering, and then we can dive into the different types.
Okay.
So, why should we declutter? So, there are studies that show that decluttering can cause stress and can make you feel overwhelmed. Having clutter around can be a sign of depression. It also can
Mm.
be like a sign that something else is going on with you, and it's being, I guess, manifested in like a physical way.
Right.
So for instance, like if you like really stressed out, you got a lot of things on your mind is cluttered, that can turn into physical clutter around you because it's manifesting in a physical way. So what do you think about that?
I definitely think it's true. I know it's true actually. I know it's been times where I've experienced depression and my telltale sign that I'm depressed, my whole house start looking a mess. My room look a mess, my house look a mess, my car look a mess, my hair look a mess, everything looking a mess. So that's the first sign of like, okay, I'm either super anxious or I'm depressed or I'm not feeling myself or I'm super overwhelmed. So I'll just start with like trying to do a little bit each day because when I'm already in that state, it's not going to be beneficial to just try to do like, oh, I'm gonna do all this in one day and get it clean, because it took time for it to build up to that. So I typically like, for me, I'll start with, okay, today I'm gonna clean my bathroom. Tomorrow I'm gonna clean off my desk, just my desk. Then after that, okay, now I'm gonna fold my clothes. Now I'm gonna do this other part of my room and actually get the floors and sweep and mop or whatever I need to do. So I think, once you get to that point, it's a telltale sign that it's definitely a bigger issue.
Yes. So let's go on the flip side and like talk about some of the benefits of decluttering. So it's just a brief list, nothing extensive, but it can relieve anxiety, it can boost your mood, it can sharpen your focus, it can energize your productivity, and it gives you space to think.
Yes. The productivity one is the biggest for me, because a lot of times if my room is a mess, or I'm thinking about, oh dang, I should have folded those clothes, now it's just clothes sitting on my bed, I'm gonna constantly be thinking about that when I should be doing other stuff, because I'm gonna constantly think like, dang, I should have took care of this, or just I need to take care of this. So now it's really fogging up my mind because I'm so hyper focused on actually taking care of it. So I definitely agree with that. What about you?
Yes. Like I said, I need clear thinking space because that's my mind is like the best asset I have.
Yes.
And so it's like I can I can feel like the frustration, or I can just feel irritated for no reason. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And if I look around, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, because I need to clean.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, I need to clean. But we can get so busy in our lives that we just feel like cleaning is like the least productive thing to do when in actuality it's like the thing that can give us the momentum to do other things.
I definitely agree with that, which is why at some point, like over the summer, I had got a cleaner. Actually, I had a cleaner for like a whole year when I was living in Atlanta. But I was always just on the go, like in grad school, working, doing extracurricular stuff, like tutoring. I didn't have time for a lot of stuff. So I was like, what can I do to, ease some of the stress off of me, where it's not cluttering my mind, but also I don't have to be the one to unclutter it. So I
Yes.
found like a, pretty affordable cleaning service, and I would have them come like every 2 weeks for like 2 to 3 hours. And that helped me out a lot because, you know, it just made it less of an obligation for me. And then it wasn't something that was just super beyond my means. So if you somebody who don't like to clean and you like your space to be clutter free, I would definitely recommend one way to try to just, handle that would be to look into cleaning services, because a lot of times what it is too, people think stuff like that is like only for rich people, or oh, it's
Hmm.
the luxury, or I don't make enough for that. But it was literally like maybe $60 every 2 weeks. Like that's not bad at all.
We
Um
spend more, women spend more on that, getting our nails and hair done.
Definitely the nails and definitely the hair. We spend more on that at Outback what I would. So, yeah, it's worth it for sure. And again, you can get different services added on. Like for instance, let's say, cleaning isn't an issue for you, but you just really hate doing that laundry, and you the one who leave it folded there for a whole 2 weeks, even though it
Hmm.
only took a day to wash. That was me too. So I would just add on laundry when I had laundry, or say somebody who like, I don't mind doing the basic stuff, but that deep cleaning, like you don't want to clean out the refrigerator, or you just hate cleaning the bathroom. You can have them specify, well, you can specify where you want them to be able to focus, and have them to really target the areas you don't want to do. So I definitely recommend that. But do you have any more tips? I know you said earlier a lot of times we just don't have time to do it, or we let it pile on. How would you be able to give advice to someone to navigate that?
I'm glad you asked that because I did find some questions you can
Hmm.
ask yourself before decluttering. And I
Okay.
got this information from the SavvySparrow.com. So I'm just going to go through those list of questions, and it can help you like get started and thinking about what you need to do to declutter. So the first thing you need to think about before decluttering is, have I used or worn this in the last year?
Mm,
Number two is, does this item bring me joy?
that's the one.
Three, three, does this item have sentimental value? Four, am I holding onto something that I think I'm going to use in the near future? Five, would somebody else benefit from having this item? Six, is this item broken, missing pieces, or worn out? Seven, is there a better or more efficient way to store this item? So those are just a few
Mm,
questions you can ask yourself to help you with that process of elimination, because in our mind we think everything we have is valuable, but
yes,
then if you go through this list and you start asking these questions, it's kind of like, is it really that
yes.
valuable and should I keep it? So yeah, did any of those questions like stand out to you?
Yes, it was two in particular. One, does it bring me joy? I feel like that's a really great question to ask because sometimes we just be keeping stuff to keep it because we feel like, oh, it's important, but it's not even bringing us joy. Like we just can't live without it. We probably didn't even think about it till we seen it. I got so many items like that. So I'm like, yeah, I have to think like, does this item really bring me joy? And if it doesn't, get rid of it. I learned that a while ago. The second one that really stood out to me was the last question. You said, is there a way to like get this item more efficiently? That is the one that I use when I'm like now turning a lot of my paper stuff into
Mhm.
electronic stuff because I would have like just a bunch of papers, you know. Um, I do admit I'm more of a physical like reader, so I always print out my articles for class. But we have the articles online too. So I'm like, okay, just because I printed it out don't mean I have to keep it now. But I be feeling so bad, like dang, I just printed out this 30-page article. Like I need to keep it. But it's like, girl, if you need it now, you can just go ahead and use it from the computer or on your phone. And even with stuff like at one point I was keeping all my receipts, for tax time. At one point I was keeping just like papers that had been graded or like when my professors would physically write on my papers to like edit them. But it's like you could just take pictures of this or scan it in. And it just
Mhm.
goes back to now, okay, once you do that, you got to make sure you have an organized way to be able to get back to the documents when you need them. Or even stuff like, you know how when you get your car parts, like it could be a battery or something like that, they tell you have a warranty. I'd be trying to keep the paper in like my car folder and be like, yeah, this I need this because if I ever lose my battery go out, I need to be able to get it. I need the receipt to get a new one. But
Yes.
I didn't started asking for the electronic email receipts. I didn't started just taking a picture of it and throwing it away because the picture should be just as good as the actual receipt. So just doing stuff like that has helped me to see like if it's something that's just paper and it's not like sentimental or value or stuff like that, go ahead and take that picture, email it to yourself, and be done with it.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because that leads to our next tips for, decluttering. So
Mhm.
that same article gave a few other tips. Like, so they said gather 8 large cardboard boxes and label them as follows. So one, you want to have a box where you put all the things you're going to donate. So these are items that you can donate to churches and charities. Second, you're going to label this one family and friends. These are items that are in good condition and that you think family or friends would love. And then the next box will be sale. So these are items that have value, can be sold on marketplaces like Facebook and eBay. And then four, you want to label it relocate. So we kind of already talked about this, but these are items that you're going to keep, but they're in the wrong place. So you're going to move them to a different part of the house.
Mhm.
And then five, you're going to label it store. So these are items that you need to keep for sentimental reasons or items that are only used for seasonal use, like Christmas items, Thanksgiving
Mhm.
items, things like that. So 6 is trash. You're gonna label that box trash. These are items that are worthless. They unsalvageable. It's going outside. And then 7, if you recycle and have a recycling bin, you'll put those items in the recycling bin. If you don't recycle, but you know a place where you can take it to be recycled, you can do that as well. And then 8 is repurpose and fix. So these are items that you can think of that may need to be fixed. Like maybe you have a tablet that you're not really using because the screen is broken or something like that.
Mm.
But these are only items that you know you're going to get fixed for sure and still have value. So you're not just gonna refix something and then just store it somewhere and never use it. So just be mindful of that.
Those were some good boxes. I might actually use this method now because typically those are the different categories that you use. And I know me and my friends we were talking about decluttering pretty recently, and we all decided like, dang, we got a lot of clothes that we don't wear, but at the same
Mhm.
time we all like we don't want to go through the hassle of setting up like a Facebook market or like a Poshmark. So one thing we said, we was like, we might as well just have like a group one, and we all could just upload our clothes on there, so that way we don't all feel overwhelmed that we running like a different market book page. And it's more so now like a family page, like everybody clothes on there, and we could just all, promote it to earn the extra cash or however we want to do it. But doing things like that, I feel like is a good idea. And it's so easy now. A lot of times we just be being lazy, but it's literally as easy as just setting up the account, like taking pictures of it front and back and listing it for a price. And on some of them, you can even just say like, oh, after 30 days, whatever the highest bidder bid it, I want to just give it to them. And boom,
Right.
now you earn the extra cash and decluttering. I feel like that's super effective for making sure that I feel like you feel better if you getting rid of something and you're getting something back. Like a lot of
Yes.
times we might not just want to donate stuff, or I know a lot of people try to donate at stores like Plato's Closet, and they be trying to give you $3 for something you paid $60 for, and you like, no, I might as well just keep it at this point. Now you're not even decluttering because you feel like that's a slap in the face. So that's just a
Yeah.
good alternative. And Poshmark has a lot of good stuff. But so does Facebook Market. So yeah, just trying to do like a group page could be a good idea for some people.
Yes. I think another thing that wasn't brought up is returning items that you don't want or that are too small. I used to be that person, like I will buy something and like maybe it's like
Hmm.
a shoe or a clothing item, and I'm like, dang, I don't want this item no more. Like I don't still feel the same joy as when I first purchased it, but I
Hmm.
would still keep it because I didn't want to go through the hassle of doing the return. But now technology has gotten so good that returning stuff is so easy. So it's kind of like I have no excuse now. So I just try to make it a point. Like when I get an item, especially if I'm buying something online, I have to ask myself, do I still feel that joy as when I first purchased it? Does it fit? Is it good quality? If it's not, it's getting returned. Because if it's not going to get returned, it's not going to do nothing but build more clutter. Because I'm not going to use it.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Or even like some of those super distinct outfits that you like, I'm only gonna wear this once and never wear it again. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but if you like after wearing it for just a couple of hours or something, you like, I know I'm never going to wear this again, I will try to return it because at the end of the day, if you haven't damaged it in any way, at the end of the day, if you know you're never gonna wear it again, or some outfits, you know how it could just be too distinct and you like, I just can't wear this again. Like, you know, no. So I would
Yes.
say like at least try. And like Nakia was saying, technology has gotten so advanced. So if you order from stores like maybe Amazon and you one of those people who hate like boxing stuff up to ship it back out and dropping it off and making sure you put the label on right. They now have stuff where you could just take your items without the box, without any packaging, and just give it to I know for sure Kohl's, but they have different return centers where you can go and return stuff very, very easily and you don't have to actually ship it. The store will ship it for you. So take advantage of stuff like that. Or even if you order something from like a Target or a Walmart, you don't have to ship it back. You could just take it to the store and do a regular return, even if you ordered it online. So definitely use that to your benefit because we don't want to keep nothing we don't want. Or even if you try something once and you're not liking the quality, it could be anything you order, whether it's like, I don't know, a nail drill or something. If you like, I actually don't really like this. I feel like I wanted one that was like a higher quality, or it does this, or it doesn't, have all the features that I'm looking for. Return it and get the one you really want because that's the one you're gonna actually use more versus having something that's subpar and you don't even use it for real because it's not what you wanted.
Yes, absolutely. And I know earlier you had spoken on decluttering your home, decluttering technology, and I just wanted to bring up other things that you can declutter, such as like your financials, your
Hmm.
business, social media, your friend list.
For sure.
So yeah, so those are other things that you can declutter too. And just starting with financials, you can declutter from subscriptions, credit
Mm.
cards, cashback apps, all of those things. You want to just and receipts because I know you had brought up receipts at one point too. You can declutter those things, and it also help you if you get something like a QuickBooks or something like that. You can upload all those items into one place, and then that can definitely help you with taxes because tax season is around the corner. So get it together.
Yes.
Business, we do talk about entrepreneurship on this podcast, and we are entrepreneurs ourselves. So again, you want to declutter subscriptions, courses. We always trying to learn a new trick to implement into our business. So looking at those courses, utilizing the information, not just hoarding the information. Digital products like what you have that you can probably donate if you're not using them anymore. Inbox. Let's talk about an email. It's the emails just keep on rolling in. It's like every time I delete something, here come another email. And there are apps
Yes.
out there that will help you manage your emails. So you can download those apps in your store, Play Store or Apple Store. Then you want to do graphics. With everybody using Canva and things like that. Go through those graphics, go through those pictures, eliminate things you may not need because that storage add up. And what we
Mm.
just had to do, we had to just buy more storage for our Google Drive because we have so
Yes.
much stuff in there. But I promise you, if we actually just take the time to delete some stuff, you know, it can save us some money because we're not just hoarding information. And of course, files, like you said, putting things into folders and things like that. Now, as far as social media goes, it's about to be a new year. You
Unfollow
got to
them.
have a new mindset. You trying to bloom and elevate. It's time to unfollow some people. It's time to unfriend some people. I know you want to keep your followers up, but a peace of mind is way more worth it than trying to have so many followers on social media. Okay, so clean it up. Do what you got to do. If you don't want them to know that you unfriended them, mute. There's no excuses. Okay,
Just get
and
rid
then
of
let's
them.
in real life, family and friends and associates and things like that. We're not bringing no toxicity into 2023. You got to go. You got to go. Point blank, period.
Yes.
And we try to hang on to people because we have known them for like years and years and years. But sometimes those years and years and years bring on baggage that we need to let go so we can free ourselves. Okay. Shout out to Fantasia to free yourself.
Yes. Free yourself, please.
Free
Especially going
yourself.
into the new year. Like, don't feel obligated to have people in your space. Cut them off. Um, do what you got to do for your own mental health. If you feel like they are bringing bad vibes in your life, they cause you anxiety, they cause you mental health issues, you depressed every time you're around them, they super pessimistic. Really just think about what you want to attract in life. And if the people around you aren't on that same the same wavelength, the same vibe, then you might want to distance yourself And I know sometimes it can be hard, but it could be as simple as just, oh, I don't want to see this person on my TL no more. I'm just
Mhm.
going to unfriend them. And on Facebook, you can unfriend somebody without, or unfollow somebody without unfriending them. So you could just
Mhm.
literally say, I don't want to see this person's post, but y'all still friends. It's like, we cool, but I don't want to see nothing you talking about because every time I do, it's negative, it's not positive, it's talking about somebody, it's disrespectful, it's not the
Mhm.
vibe I'm on. So you can go ahead
Right.
and do that. Like the kids did, you can also utilize the mute button. On Instagram, I think it's called restrict. You can restrict
Mhm.
people and just they can't see nothing on your page. You can't see nothing on that page. Like do it for your own mental health and don't just think like, oh, this person my family. I can't cut them off or I can't do that to them. No. We not keeping toxic family members around in 2023 because at the end of the day, you know, some people that you know that aren't your family can have more loyalty and respect and more of a purpose within your life than people who are actually family. So we judging people by how they treat us, how they make us feel, the type of vibes they give us, not just who we was born with or who we got the same DNA as. So don't be afraid.
Yes, absolutely. And there's one other thing that I wanted to bring up that you should definitely think about decluttering is anything that has an expiration date. So they can be vitamins, medicine, food, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, lotions, makeup, and things like that, all those have expiration dates on them. And I know sometimes we don't pay attention to those things, but it can be beneficial to throw those things away.
Yes, I can vouch for that. I asked my friend the other day, like, hey, can you give me some medicine? And I seen two medicines. One was like Tylenol, one was like Sudafed or
Hmm.
something. And I was like, which one you think I should take? He said, the one that's not expired. I'm like, dang, medicine sure do got an expiration date. So I looked and one of them already expired. I was like, okay, why don't you throw this away instead of saying the one that's not expired when I asked you which medicine to take? You could have just threw it away and I wouldn't even have to ask. It would have just been the one that was good. So definitely, like Nakia said, check your expiration dates. And not just because stuff expires, but when you don't declutter, it's a lot more prone to have incidents. So
Hmm.
I left a bag of makeup in my suitcase. Whole suitcase got glitter all over it, makeup all over it. I had to clean it out. Versus if I had a nice little organizer bag and not a thank you and have a nice day bag that could get rips just trying to throw stuff in there, I could have, probably not had that incident and not been able to not get makeup all over my stuff in my suitcase. So it can even be stuff like that, especially when you're traveling. Make sure you use like proper bags or,
Hmm.
you know, putting stuff in different like smaller containers so you can travel with it. That's gonna make your life a lot easier when you get to your destination and everything's everything. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Everything has a place in your suitcase. You know exactly where your toothbrush, deodorant, makeup, hair stuff, everything is gonna have a place. But if you do like how I used to do before I was decluttered, I just used to throw everything in my suitcase and hit the road. So if you organize ahead of time, I feel like it just again helps to make your mental health a lot better, especially if you want a vacation, you want a trip, you're trying to relax. You don't want to be thinking about where's my stuff. You want to be thinking about, oh, my stuff is here, let's go. I'm getting ready. I'm about to go enjoy myself.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think this was a good episode. Did you have any other suggestions or tips before we wrap up?
I would just say, like, even within your house, it's different ways you can declutter, like rearranging your fridge, your seasonings, your cabinet space. When you don't declutter and you just like throwing everything everywhere, it can really like make you feel like you don't have enough space, but it's not that you don't have enough space. It's just that you're not using your space properly. And it can
Hmm.
help like reduce like health issues like asthma, allergies. A lot of times people be allergic to like dust and mold and mildew, and that can come if you don't clean your space up adequately. So definitely try to stay on top of that, especially in your home. Like, that's your sanctuary. Go ahead and do right by it. And then the last thing I wanted to say was just you can declutter your mind as well. Sometimes we
Mhm.
just got a lot going on in our minds. So if we do things like, just take notes on what we're thinking, that can help to organize it, or journaling and writing down what we're thinking in our heads and putting it on paper, or even when we do to-do lists. That's really just decluttering your mind so you're not thinking about everything instead of actually having a solid plan of everything that you're thinking about that you need to do. So those are some ways that you can just actually declutter your mind and start to really think about, ways to improve your life and manage your time better.
Yes, I love those. And I guess the last thing I can add is like decluttering your car. So,
Mm,
every time you go to the gas station to put gas in your car, utilize that time to clean your car out. Like it's a trash can right there. They got the little cleaners for you to clean your windows and things like that. So just utilize those times to just go ahead and declutter, and then take the time out to get your car washed and vacuumed and stuff out, so it doesn't get piled up, and then you just dreading and doing those things because it got too much.
yes, I definitely need to do better with that one. It look like I live in my car, like the person. So I can do better with that. I'm gonna set that as like a mini goal of mine for 2023. Like treat my car better. I feel like I don't treat my car right. Like I couldn't tell you for $1 million the last time I got a car wash. Um, my trunk look a mess. The back seat got stuff on it. So I definitely need to treat my car a little bit better. But yeah, check in with me on that next year. Like ask me at the end of January, how's your car doing? Is it clean? And we're gonna see.
Yes. Okay. We gonna double back on this. But
Yeah.
I like that you said like treat your stuff better,
Hmm.
because that is a reality. Like you can't expect and ask for more if you're not treating the things that you already have with the proper maintenance and respect. So if you want more, you gotta treat the thing that you already have like you already have more, and then you'll get more. So yeah.
Yes. Well, I hope y'all learned some things about decluttering. Y'all got some tips that y'all can actually implement, especially in the new year. Thank you so much for listening to the 21 Minutes or Less podcast. Make sure y'all go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 21 Minutes or Less. And then you can go to YouTube and type in 21 Minutes or Less podcast. And then you can follow our personal pages. Mine is at Keisha Milana.
And mine is at Miss Butterfly 21 MISS.
And we're going to see y'all on the next live.
Right. Good night.